already on edge.
Unit 4, hold the line.
Convoy turning west. Keep the feet alive.
When law turns to chess, truth becomes the only move. Operation Ice Block, this Halloween.
Trick or treason? Tomorrow's Halloween in Chicago just turned into a nightmare of suspected treason. While Governor Pritzker begs ICE to take Halloween off, leaked ward emails suggest a coordinated spy network of sabotage of federal operations. We've got the receipts, encrypted chats, safe house maps, crossing guards with whistles ready to track agents tomorrow. Is this protecting trick-or-treaters or organized obstruction? You know, 2 Americans are already dead from illegals in Illinois, yet Pritzker wants ICE to stand down for candy night. Governor, here's my message. Stop protecting criminals. Start protecting citizens. And save some candy for the kids. DHS Secretary Noem already said hell no, but the operation continues tomorrow. And if the shadow network connects to city officials, everyone involved better lawyer up. And what you're about to learn will shock you. And while Chicago wards allegedly protect criminals, I'm protecting my family's health with C60 Evo. This Nobel Prize-winning molecule made lab animals live 90% longer. Now I know why. My brain fog vanished. Joint pain I've had for years disappeared. My wife looks 10 years younger. This is not another supplement scam. It's 172 times stronger than vitamin C, working at the cellular level where aging actually happens. The scientist behind it, Chris Beres, he's been perfecting this in his Houston lab since 1991. The Paris study showed the longest life extension ever recorded. Now my family is living proof. Visit c60evo.com/NNN and make sure you use code NNN for exclusive savings for our viewers. Because while Chicago plays dangerous games, you can add decades to your life. That website again, c60evo.com/NNN. Transform your health today. So is it trick or is it treason?
Or treat.
Trick
Or treat.
Yeah, so I made that with Sora late last night. A couple of ICE agents with some sloppy costumes on in a Chicago neighborhood getting ready to take on the illegals there. But the neighborhood is already on watch. Leaked emails are in. We've got the receipts. Wait till you hear this stuff. Leaked Chicago 48th Ward email, an internal message circulating before Halloween, appears to organize neighborhood volunteers to watch for ICE activity. Was this a city-linked effort to shadow federal officers? We've got all the details. So it starts out quietly. This is the opening of the email. Because of ongoing ICE activity in our city, we're taking extra precautions. The 48th Ward email warns neighbors to be prepared and coordinated just in case. Now, why would a Halloween note talk about tracking federal enforcement? That's a big question. Then comes the Signal chat. Now, you want to join it? There's the link. Residents are told install it, join the Halloween group, post time and location if ICE appears. The LBRC is connected with the 48th Ward and local rapid response groups. A private encrypted channel, though, will disappear after Halloween. This is that part of the message. To spread important safety information across neighborhoods on Halloween, please join the Halloween Signal group. The idea is if someone sees ICE activity, they will post the time and location. Next up, watch volunteers, shifts from 4:30 to 7:30 p.m. Observe and report ICE activity. 1 hour posts at neighborhood entry points. Training set for October 29th and 30th. The tone is not candy, it's coordination. A watch schedule on a kid's holiday. Really. Here's that part. Watch volunteers. We're recruiting volunteers to staff entry points to the neighborhood to observe and report ICE activity. Man, these people have no lives. Then you have safe havens being set up. Private homes told to deny ICE entry, print a yellow ICE-free home sign, plus a city-branded Protecting Chicago notice. A map of the havens shared through Signal. Trick-or-treaters meet policy activism on the front porch. And then the crossing guards, the 48th Ward organizing volunteers with whistles directly connected to the ward to report suspected ICE activity. Signed off by LBRC leadership, Halloween safety, or something else entirely. And then here is the spreadsheet as it was captured by yours truly 18 hours ago. I think we can actually look at it as it stands right now. Let me see if I can pop this open for you. If the link will load. Here it is. This is the current look at the ICE ICE Watch assignments. Looks like Leah and Alex and Larry and Mark and Nan, Cecilia and Libby, they're going to be holding it down. Bryn Mawr and Broadway. Cecilia and Libby. Berwyn and Broadway. Larry and Mark and Nan. They've already got the times mapped out. First person name. First name or alias. Have you completed your training? Person 2, first name or alias. Have you completed your training? Take the training if you can. Look, you can see all the names. Middle priority intersections. Next priority intersections. The alley. Looks like nobody wants to hang out in the alley. But Liz and Grant, though, they're going to be down at the intersection of Wayne and Balmoral. They'll be hanging out there from 4:30 to 7:30. They're going to hold it down. And they've already completed training, guys. So that's a quick look at the live spreadsheet that they are planning to potentially obstruct federal operations in Chicago. And I'm actually quite surprised that the link is still active after we made the post. Who knows after this broadcast? One attachment here. This is the ICE-free home safe haven. This is what they're asking people to put up in their houses. This is an ICE-free home. It tells residents they can refuse entry to federal officers. The question, though, does City Hall condone distributing legal directives about ICE enforcement? And here's another flyer. Protecting Chicago partner lists approved allies and hotlines if any were produced with city branding. That's a transparency issue begging for an audit, especially when ICE operations are involved. So this is another, look at that. You got the City of Chicago logo right there. Chicago.gov protect. So it looks like they are using official Chicago documentation. So what's really happening? In Chicago's 48th Ward, a Halloween email, encrypted chats, safe haven maps, and spreadsheet built around ICE activity. Every line raises new questions. So share this thread and follow Next News Network for the truth that they hide. And here was the link to the public training webinar that was making rounds. We did attend that webinar this afternoon. And of course, the typical language presented, calling ICE kidnappers, abducting people, disappearing people, racist, the typical inflammatory language that is used when referring to ICE agents. It was largely activist organizing based, but of course, we know how these things morph from activism to violence, and it happens far too often. And when ICE goes into these neighborhoods and they take somebody who is here illegally, the residents flood the zone, and then they get thrown down. The violence occurs. People get arrested. I mean, that's what these types of activities lead to. Trick or treason? That is the question. And J.B. Pritzker, what is he saying? He's saying, where's Pritzker? Wants to pause ICE raids. This is Mark Vargas 10 hours ago, Illinois Review. Wants to pause ICE raids in Chicago so illegal aliens can enjoy Halloween in peace. Only in Pritzker's Illinois do lawbreakers get holiday breaks and taxpayers get the bill. And Secretary Noem calling out Governor Pritzker and Mayor Johnson for inciting violence against ICE officers. This was just 6 hours ago. She's calling out the two Democrat leaders in Illinois.
Against ICE. And in doing so, it seems that ICE agents, CBP agents are increasingly under threat. We saw the violence in Dallas and elsewhere. And now we get a statistic from DHS that death threats against ICE operatives are up 8,000%. And listen to what the Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson said about your commander there in Chicago, Gregory Bovino. Listen here.
Bovino is a barbaric individual.
He did call me that word barbaric, and that is what we're talking about with the heated rhetoric that causes violence against law enforcement officers. What about the legal, ethical, and moral duties that we conduct every day on the streets of Chicago to make his city safer? Is that barbaric?
When you've got things like the Chicago mayor calling your commander there barbaric, when you've got J.B. Pritzker referring to ICE as, quote, gnomes thugs, are you surprised to see violence and death threats going up against these agents?
No, I'm not. These leaders are perpetuating that violence. They're encouraging it. They're pushing people to violence by the way that they talk. Greg Bovino is a patriot. He's a great American. He took an oath to uphold the law, and he does it every single day. And I'm so thankful for the way that he inspires people. He inspires thousands of other law enforcement officers to go out and to do their jobs and to do it boldly, and to know that they've got a constitution and they've got a president that will have their backs if they make sure that they're bringing criminals to justice. So by what Mayor Johnson's doing, by what Governor Pritzker is doing, it's endangering lives, and they need to stop. They need to stop because there's consequences to it. Their words have consequences, and we're seeing that. An 8,000% increase in death threats against law enforcement. That's horrific. That shouldn't be happening in America. That shouldn't happen anywhere in the world, and I blame them. I place the blame squarely on their shoulders.
8,000% increase. Do you think Pritzker is going to be running for president? Of course he is. Of course he is. J.B. Pritzker's 11 hours ago, there's an update here. Governor J.B. Pritzker's resignation is being demanded after he harbored two illegal aliens who killed two Americans in the state of Illinois. Pritzker's got a lot of blood on his hands, and he doesn't care. A national disgrace and derelict in his duty. This is WCIA.
Now, an immigration Pacheco Meza is now looking at charges of driving without a license and not slowing down to avoid an accident. But there's more to this story. Earlier, a large crowd gathered in the Coles County Courthouse to mourn the deaths of Mike and Gail Clayton.
May God bless the Clayton family during this trying time. Thank you.
An emotional moment for Coles County Board Chairman Darryl Cox as community members mourn the deaths of board member Mike Clayton and his wife Gail. They were hit by another car in Westfield Friday and pronounced dead at the scene.
But I've been silent for too long. Mike and Gail Clayton were killed by a driver that was in this country illegally.
Originally, Illinois State Police told WCIA3 the suspect was from Indiana. Now, an Immigration and Customs Enforcement spokesperson says in a statement, quote, ICE launched an immigration detainer on Edwin Pacheco Meza, 34, an illegal alien from Honduras, after he was arrested in Illinois. And Cox is being vocal about his concerns.
I'm calling on our governor and his legislature to reverse course and repeal the Trust Act.
It's an act Coles County Sheriff Kent Martin says sidelines law enforcement during immigration matters.
If someone is here illegally but hasn't been charged criminally in the federal court, we can't even notify someone that they're in custody.
Other board members made similar calls to action, and Cox went on to say the Claytons died because of, quote, broken immigration policies. WCIA3 reached out to the governor's office to comment on the matter. We have not heard back. All this as the county remembers a couple that impacted. Pacheco Meza is now looking.
Unbelievable. Illegal. Killing two people. So this is only the beginning of the terror that's going to continue through Chicago because of these policies. Tomorrow, Halloween, people will be out in force, tracking ICE agents, reporting their activities. But that's not going to stop ICE. Now we're learning that the Pentagon, this is 24 hours ago, has ordered the National Guard to create quick reaction forces in every state and territory by January that are trained and equipped to respond to riots and civil unrest within the United States. What do they know? The only reason they would do this is because they know it's going to get worse. If you got value from this report, tap subscribe. My final thought is next. So this is what suspected treason looks like in 2025. A governor begging federal agents to stop enforcement while his city's wards apparently coordinate obstruction. Whether Pritzker knew about these leaked documents or not, tomorrow's Halloween has become a criminal protection operation while American blood stains Illinois. Those spreadsheets, signal chats, safe house maps, if they connect to official channels, that's called a conspiracy. Every name on those lists, every chat participant, every designated safe house, you may be accessories to federal obstruction. So the big question for the chat, is Pritzker directly involved or just conveniently looking away? Should he be investigated for interference with federal immigration enforcement? Let's have a conversation in the comments, because if we can't enforce our borders on Halloween, when can we? This transcends politics. It's about the rule of law. So hit up our merch shop and show where you stand. The truth is here.